Hi everybody, I'm meteorologist Randy Turner from KRBC TV, and with the help of Katie, our producer, manning the camera right now, I want to show you what I do on a day-to-day basis. So, arriving at work, let's go into my office. Go through this door right here, and you may recognize my office because you've seen it on television before. This is the KRBC studio. It also doubles as our Storm Team Forecast Center. And so the KRBC TV studios has been here on South 14th Street, Abilene, for over 60 years. The set that you see is utilized in several different ways, but what you generally see right here is this particular computer on television. Normally you see the back of it, but now you're seeing the front of it. And I'll show you what I do to begin my day every single day here at KRBC. All right, when I get my day underway at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we have a newsroom meeting. That's when all of the reporters and the photographers and the weather guys and gals come together in the newsroom for a meeting. And then by 2:30, I'm right back here in our studio in the Storm Team Forecast Center, and I begin working on your weather forecast. So let me show you a little bit about how we do that. First of all, we have computer models that we use. This one is the GFS model, which is the American weather model. And then we also have the European model. So between those two models, I'm looking at the upper levels of the atmosphere. What's the weather doing and what will the weather be doing at about 18,000 feet? And this can step through time and showing mainly high pressure right here in the western part of the United States. It happens every summer. High pressure brings the heat. That's why it's hot in the summertime. And that high pressure is just going to stay over the top of us. And we've got a little bit of instability going on here, but mainly high pressure according to that model. Then I'll go back and I'll look at another one here and see if there's anything different that this model may be picking up that the other one isn't. And it is showing down here in Texas a few minor disturbances. That's why we've been having some showers and thunderstorms here lately. So long story short, and I won't spend too much time on this, I'll have a look at that particular view and kind of get in my mind what the weather looks like it wants to be doing over the course of the next 7 days. And then there's something else that we also look at, which is called a MOS forecast, or the Model Output Statistics. It's a bunch of numbers all configured here. Again, we have different models represented here, but it basically is the guesstimate of temperatures. Now, this one says it's 72 tonight, 93 tomorrow, 72 tomorrow night, 95 the next day. And so we can look at that, and based on the information that I'm looking at from the previous model that I showed you, do I think those temperatures are close to what they should be? Are they a little high, a little bit low? And then I'll help formulate my forecast based on that. Speaking of the forecast, it is handwritten, just a piece of paper. I look at all this information and just jot down notes. And that comes in handy because this is actually the 7-day forecast. Okay, so we use our weather computer to look at forecast models, to put the forecast together, but there is also a very important part of this system. It's called 3D Live Radar. It's the radar that you see on TV all the time, also a part of this system. So here it is, 3D Live Radar. We're getting radar imagery, and on this particular Wednesday evening, July 5th, we have thunderstorms underway, so we can just kind of zoom in on these thunderstorms. When you see red and even dark yellow, for example, here near Cross Plains, that is very heavy rain coming down, and you see these little lightning bolts, lightning strikes are occurring on this particular thunderstorm. But what if we're wondering if it has any hail in it? Well, we can come right over here and click on an icon that says hail, and there it does depict a little bit of hail. We can click on that area and it tells us it is marble-sized hail. So some outstanding technology to allow us to see what those thunderstorms have in them, and then which way they may be going and how that might affect you, our viewer. And in addition to 3D Live Radar being able to show you rain and hail, it can also show you where that hail might be falling. And this is what we call our hail zone product. And there isn't too much hail this particular storm, but you can see where it's going to fall in the next 30 minutes. So that is handy to know. We have another feature called the lightning forecast. And in the next 30 minutes, we can tell you there are going to be lightning strikes coming out of that thunderstorm. So it's just one of the many, many features of our 3D Live Radar. And it's all done on this weather computer right here in the Storm Center forecast. Okay, before I take you to actually the weather wall and how we present the weather on TV, a few other things happen here in the Storm Team Forecast Center, and those have to do generally with severe weather, how we get information to you, our viewer. So first things first here, when we have severe weather, we have a weather chat room. And this particular chat room is us being able to communicate with various National Weather Service offices, primarily the one in San Angelo, which is the one that handles the majority of the warnings that are issued for our area. But we also communicate with Midland, Odessa, Dallas, Fort Worth, Lubbock, even Oklahoma City, all the way down to Austin and San Antonio in the weather chat room. It's going to tell us information about these thunderstorms, what they're producing, and maybe it's got some small hail. Maybe they have 40 or 50 mile per hour winds. Even if there's a tornado reported in a thunderstorm, that information in the form of a warning will come through that chat room right there. And of course, we can confirm it with our 3D Live radar, share that information with you as well. So you're watching TV one night and you see information just pop up at the bottom of your screen. You see a weather map in the lower left-hand corner. You see a crawl coming across the bottom of your screen, and it's crawling weather information in the form of a severe thunderstorm watch, tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning. This is a weather computer that handles that information. Sits right here with us, right next to us, and on this particular evening it tells us Comanche County has a flood advisory, Mills County has a flood advisory, and Callahan County has a significant weather advisory. So all that information comes up on the screen, and I can request control of it, run the crawl, and then release control of it, and you can see right here, there is the crawl actually moving across the screen. We are about to show you how we do weather on television. In fact, you're looking at a video of the television set. I'm actually talking to you in front of the green wall, and so here we are in front of this very large wall of green, and through the magic of television, the computer graphics are superimposed behind me, and I stand and talk in front of nothing but this green wall and looking at that TV camera. But what if I need to turn to the right and see what I'm talking about? Well, over here attached to our green wall is this nice television monitor that has the exact same thing you're watching on TV there. And if I need to turn and look in the other direction, we have another monitor over here on this particular green wall. So let's go through a forecast together. And generally, I'll have about 3 minutes to give you the weather forecast. Now, we put the forecast together, have in mind what we're going to be talking about. It's raining and we have thunderstorms. Always first, we show you radar, so that's where we're going to start, and try to show the areas being affected by storms. So it goes something like this. We have on 3D Live radar right now an area of thunderstorms over in the eastern portion of the big country, and those thunderstorms producing heavy rain and lightning. For example, here in Callahan County, just to the north of Cross Plains, a big blow-up of thunderstorms, lightning, heavy downpours going on right there. Another big storm coming out of northern Brown County, and those are going to collide over about the Rising Star area. Heavy rain too in Comanche County between Comanche and De Leon, all of this moving in a northerly direction. And then out to the west, we had some showers out around Colorado City. Those have diminished. As we look at the satellite and radar imagery, you can see we have one area of showers and thunderstorms to the east, another area to our southwest. These are moving to the south, and the ones in the eastern part of the big country are actually drifting to the north. All right, so all of that said, we do not have a script when we do the weather. What you actually see us do is just right off the top of our head, and that sounds maybe hard, but it's a lot easier when you get to do it for several years. All right, so that's a little bit about how we work in front of the green wall. I'll have more about how you can become a meteorologist coming up. All right, I want to show you a little bit more information about where the data comes from that we actually show you, where the temperature information comes from. Now on the screen right now, behind me, we have 89 degrees, east-southeast wind at 3, the dew point 63 degrees, humidity 42%. So where does that information come from? Well, it comes from the Abilene Regional Airport. And about 52 minutes after every hour, it is uploaded into our weather system. So that 89 degrees that you see, it's, as I record this, 7:11 on a Wednesday night. That was the 6:52 temperature pops into our system. Also notice we have a Skycam behind our weather graphic, and that Skycam is actually a camera here at the TV station that we can operate through the internet and provide 360-degree coverage of weather in case storms roll in especially. The almanac, well, that's something else that comes into us at about 5:30 every afternoon. It tells what the high temperature is, and today's high in Abilene, 91 degrees. It also shows us what the normal high is for this time of year, which is 93. So we were 2 degrees below normal today. It shows us the record high, which was 103 degrees on July 5th, 1971. This morning we were at 66, 71 is normal. We've been as cold as 55. And again, all that information is ingested into our weather computer, and we provide that information every night at 5, 6, and 10. Okay, we're going to get to the forecast part of the presentation. It's for tonight, tomorrow, and the next 7 days. And remember back when I was here at this very weather computer putting the forecast together and showed you that we just hand write it down on this piece of paper. Well, we then go in and build our weather graphics, and right here we'll type in all of that information. For example, I'm going for a low temperature tonight of 72 degrees, southeast wind at 5 to 10, and a 30% chance of thunderstorms. So type that in, and what you see on TV is this weather graphic. It says a 30% chance of thunderstorms and a low temperature of 72 degrees. But we also have the capability of showing rain coming down. You'll also see a lightning strike in the background. This scene is actually a photo that we took at night in beautiful downtown Abilene. You probably recognize the Grace. Well, that is a photo that we just have in the background, the rain falling in the background as well, and you can see the forecast. Then we push a button, we switch to tomorrow's forecast, high of 92, still a 30% chance of thunderstorms, showing some lightning in the background. It's the same photo taken in the same place, but just during the daylight hours. So we did actually go downtown. We do that, take photos around, and then put that as a part of our weathercast. And you've seen the 7-day weather forecast before, where we take you through Thursday all the way through Wednesday of next week, showing the rain chances, slight chance Sunday, showing it gets hotter and drier first part of next week. So that's how we do it. That's how we get the forecast. We get it down on paper, we put it into graphics, and then we get it on air to you. All right, one more thing. Sometimes when you look at a weather map, you see cold fronts, warm fronts, a little bit about those. We have just a quick click of a mouse, and we can draw a cold front on our weather map, just like that. Or we could draw another one, or we could draw another one here. We don't like that. We drew it wrong. We could draw it this way. We could draw it over here. We have warm fronts, like that. And when you look at a weather map, you're always going to see cold fronts. They're always going to be blue. These little hashes area, these arrows are pointing in the direction the colder wind is moving. In this case, it is moving in a southerly direction. Warm fronts, always going to be red. And likewise, these little rounded areas point in the direction warm air is moving. In this case, it is moving towards the north. So that's what warm fronts are about. And down here we have stationary fronts. The air masses really aren't moving. I drew it backwards. Let me redo that for you. They're not really moving anywhere at all. They're stationary. The dry line looks like this. A dry line is a big part of forecasting severe weather. We can put low pressure areas on there, make them really big, really small. And we also have high pressure areas, so we can place all of those on the weather map. Let me widen this out just a little bit and give you a bigger view of Texas and the United States. So remember, I was talking about high pressure in the western part of the country. That's what we have out there. It looks like we have maybe some low pressure that is moving through counterclockwise spin, low pressure right over Missouri. And then right across Texas, in between those two systems, that's where we have had some thunderstorms. So you want to be a meteorologist when you grow up. Here's what you need to know. You have to have a love for weather, obviously, a love for math, and a love for science. When I was about 10 years old, there was a tornado that came across the farm that I lived on, and that tornado went through a pasture, it went through our field, and afterwards, it wasn't a big tornado, it was fairly small as tornadoes go. It was about 50 yards wide, and there was dirt literally plowed up in that field by that tornado. It got me wondering, how did that happen? Where did that come from? And so right then and there at the age of 10, I started to study weather. I'd write book reports about the weather. Much like you're in school right now, you may decide you want to study tornadoes, you want to study hurricanes, you want to study cold fronts, how weather happens, and you can write book reports on that. So do really well in math and all levels of math, upper levels especially. As you get into junior high and high school, take all the math you can. Science the same way, all the science courses that you can take. Maintain very good grades. It is tough, but it is well worth it. And if you're really passionate about weather, you will be a success. And if you're that type of person that goes outside and looks up at the clouds, when it's raining, you're outside in it instead of inside. If there's thunder and lightning and you're looking around, hopefully inside when it's lightning, not outside, all of those things may mean that you can be a meteorologist and do what I do.